It has something to do with confidence, and not in the way you think it is. The confidence is increasing exponentially, is that you trust that you have the ability to follow through whatever you promise yourself on doing.
If you work out, you are more likely to become a millionaire.
Yeah. So, what do you think of this statement? This is clearly something I've put out there, but what do you think on this? What is your thought on
Well,
this?
I don't think that it is just a statement. I actually think that this is fact, and if you do like want to play around and maybe waste a little bit of time and look at what the traits are of millionaires and billionaires, you will find that regular exercise is one of them. And there's the thing is it's not just about exercise. There's so many benefits in like from exercising, and just to straight off the bat, we'll name a few, right? So obviously, if I used to be, unfortunately, I'm actually taking a step back from exercise. Well, that I need to step back into, but I've come out of the exercise routine a little bit, and but I do remember when I was in it properly, I was going to the gym every day before work. In the morning was the best day, so we would run to the gym, do the gym, and then go to work afterwards. And you feel better throughout the entire day, right? I know you work out every day, isn't it?
Yes. So a little bit of a background here, a context to this entire thing, because I was thinking about this. In August 2022, I decided for myself to stop listening to the status quo, where most of the people, I would almost say 99% of people, say you need to have a rest day. And I was always thinking, not really, but I guess I have to take a rest day. I guess I have to take a rest day. So I did this for pretty much all of my life. And in August, I decided to just stop listening to what most people say and just try it out for myself. It could be, I could have seen different results, or maybe I would have agreed, okay, it definitely is worth to take a rest day. But then there were like several goals I had in my mind that needs to be addressed as well. So my goal is not to be in competition. My goal is not to be a Mr. Olympia, how Arnold Schwarzenegger is, or Ronnie Coleman. So those are extreme things. They require a rest day because they do excessive workouts. Versus me, I was focusing on the pure goal of staying fit and get ready for the goal I have lined up for in about 2 years. So that also means I don't do anything excessively inside the gym. Yes, I grow to 160 pounds, which equals, I think, 73 kilograms or something, or 72. And that was it.
Let's find out quickly. Yeah, 72.5. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're literally bang on it, 73 or 72.
Yeah, so my goal was only to reach that one goal of having 160 pounds, 72.5 kilograms. And that was about it. My goal was to stay consistently, like go to the gym. And doing this now for about 2.5 months now, I think. It's August, September, yeah, October. It's about 2.5 months, I would say. And there are like a lot of results. So this is gonna be a long talking session now because there are a lot of results I would just want to share because I think it's important to just see what benefit it brings that has nothing to do with your health physically. Is that okay with you? Just
Yeah, of course. I think that, just worth briefly noting that, of course, even a kid can tell you that exercising daily is good for you, for your body, right?
Yeah.
And although I don't exercise properly, I do move my body every day and make sure that there is some movement.
Yes, and before I dive into this, I just want to mention at the end of this episode, I just recommend you top influencers in the social media space for fitness. That includes girls as well as guys. The results that got me, and I felt it not immediately. It was, I gotta say, the first 2 weeks, I was feeling weird because it was outside of the norm, but my body was used to. I used to take a break of Saturday and Sunday. I said, okay, I need a rest day or whatever. And so the first 2 weeks, I was more or less exhausted, and my body was confused. And I say confused because it was not really tired. So if you would assume that you were like run multiple miles and you like really you're done. That was different with the exercise that I did for continuously for over 14 days. And I felt confused because my body was used to something completely different. But I was not excessively working out where I said I definitely need a rest. So it was weird. But overall, it made me feel better because mentally it took off the weight of listening to other people's opinion on whether you should take a rest day, whether you should do a 2 split or a 3 split day. Just for the terminology to explain what that means is you either take 1 and 2 days, for example, you work out Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday is a break, Thursday and Friday, and then you take a break, and then you go so forth. A 3 split is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, break, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, break, and then you go so forth.
Yeah, I think that there's something that we actually there's something we passed over that I should have really picked up on, and I think it's very useful for everyone, not just throughout gym, but throughout pretty much everything in life, is that you said, I think that I'm going to stop listening to these people and try, and that's the key word here is try this. Now, you can waste so much time going to this guru, quote unquote, that guru, quote unquote, again, and be like 2, 4, whatever you say, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, you know, whatever numbers, jargon you want to bring up. At the end of the day, stop wasting time looking at all of this crap and actually just be like, right, 2 months, we're going to try X, Y, Z, see how we feel. And you log it every single day. How do I feel throughout the day? When you work out in the morning, the entire day is just like, I just feel so much more productive. I mean, I do a little bit every morning anyway, but when I was properly going for it, you know, and then going for a plunge pool or cold shower afterwards, it sets your day up. And then, but you know, not everyone can do that. And then you would say, okay, we'll try mornings for so long, and then we'll try evenings. And that's the key point here is you can listen to these people and try it out, but at the end of the day, everyone is different. By definition of being humans, we're all different, right? And we all have different tendencies, we all have different sort of things. But I want to make one thing clear here is when you wake up in the morning, you think, I don't feel like it. That's going to happen regardless. Whether you're in the routine or not in the routine, it's still going to happen. So especially when you're trialing it out, you just have to stick with it. And you just have to be like, it's a test. It's a self-discipline test. And if you can't be disciplined for something for, say, a month or 2 months, then to be honest, if you can't do that, then that's something that you really need to work on. And people that can't do that probably aren't even listening to this episode, really.
I absolutely agree with you. And I touch base on this because it's a huge point of mine. But let's move just on with the list. The next one is you feel more energetic. It goes against our common sense that if you work out, you get exhausted. And my common belief was for a long time that if you work out, you're going to be tired afterwards. And it only was true if I worked out at night. So I taught myself to just go after work because I want to like relax and shut down my mind and just not compensate, but what's the word? English, come on. process the day. No, that's not the right word, but you know, you process the entire day.
Reconcile the day, or just be like, unwind in a way.
Yeah, unwinding. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. And while this was also true, afterwards I was tired, and I was not tired because of the workout, but I was tired because the day has already been passed. This is a huge difference. Like, I did not know the difference that the exercise was tiring me versus the day was tiring me. I was just, well, happened to be at the gym once I get tired. So I think this is very important to understand that exercise itself does not make you tired. I felt, or I believed the wrong way for such a long time, and I'm glad I tried it out to work out early in the morning, or more like before noon. I think this is more like what I do. But yeah, exercise does not really make you tired, just to be clear.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I think that I've seen people. I think really what it is just like how your body gets used to it. Yeah, maybe initially it might make your body a little bit tired and might make you a little bit tired. I went through a phase when I was a lot younger actually where I had trouble sleeping, and guess what helped that? A little bit of exercise. And then now I don't have any trouble sleeping at all. But I want to make the point that I've seen people that do basically nothing with their life. Literally, they don't do anything all day. All it is just like housework, maybe walk the dog and stuff. And for people like that to go out and do something is very hard. The barrier to entry is very high, essentially. But once you get into the routine, it actually, you have the energy for everything.
Yeah.
It's like, you just sit at home all day, you don't go to work, you don't do anything. But then you have someone else over there that's getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, doing the gym, going to work, coming home from work, and still somehow has energy.
Yeah.
Now, it's not that, they're absolute polar opposites or someone's having a lot of Red Bull or anything like that. It's just that as your body gets used to it, that is how it works. And then, you sleep better. You actually feel more energized throughout the whole day. You have a better sleep. You have a deeper sleep. And it sort of becomes an anchor, just like sleep is an anchor to a routine in your life. Exercise also becomes like an anchor.
Yes, and I need to piggyback on this now because it has something to do with confidence and not in the way you think it is. My way of saying the confidence is increasing exponentially is that you trust in yourself, that you trust that you have the ability to follow through whatever you promise yourself on doing. And I give you a great example, like what you just said. There are people that wake up 4 in the morning every single day, and you get frustrated because you cannot wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning. But the thing is, it takes practice. It sounds silly, but it really needs practice to wake up a certain amount of time if you really want.
Well, it's a routine. It's building a routine,
Yes.
and everyone knows.
And that's why
the routine doesn't just come like that.
Exactly. And so that's why I put this in here too, because if you work out every single day and you stick to the promise you make yourself and just go, regardless how the workout is going to be turning out, but it's just the fact that you show up, even if it's crappy that day, even if it's you feel like shit and you don't want to go, but you still decide going, it builds confidence that you are you're worth your goals. It's silly as it sounds, but it.
And you know what? Actually, the days where I felt I really don't want to work out, and yet I still went and did it, were actually some of the best workouts. It sounds like a lie, basically, but it's not. It's complete truth, and I guarantee you, if you ask other people that work out and properly on it, the days where you don't feel like doing it, yet you do it anyway. There's a feeling in yourself that you're like, wow, you know what? I can actually get shit done. And it increases your confidence in everything else. Because say, for example, you don't want to go and ask your boss for that raise, but you still do it anyway. You don't want to, you're short a couple of quid off some food you want to buy, but you ask them for the money off, and you build that confidence and the competence, actually, both confidence and competence in all areas of life, and it's pushing you. And then when you push yourself in one aspect of your life, then when you go and you want to start your own business and you start going and approaching people, and 99 out of 100 of them say no to you. I mean, like, I've done this before. Is I've approached many companies, and every single person said no. And it just sort of builds you up for that, and then you still move on. You take it in your stride, and then you come back and you're like, right, okay, in a couple of years' time or in so many months or whatever, we're just going to try again.
Yeah.
And it's exactly the same thing. Whenever I would do a rep, or even still now, I mean, you can see that up there is the pull-up bar. I do pull-ups. It's to failure every single time. Every single time I did hypertrophy, it was to failure, and it builds you up for that. And it's like, yeah, you're doing bench press and it falls on you. And it's uncomfortable. So what? It builds you up for the rest of life that it's not going to be comfortable. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
If it was comfortable, everyone would be billionaires.
Yeah.
But this is the point of this podcast. Is you exercise, you're putting yourself in uncomfortable situations. Even when you don't want to do it, you're still doing it. Now that sounds a lot like entrepreneurship. And that sounds a lot like working towards a business that you're building or co-building or whatever it may be, or even working up the ranks within a company.
Or even get your finances straight. It's also a
yeah
huge thing.
any sort of goal where you're like, in so many months, years, whatever, the picture that you see here is going to be different. And that might be, driving a different car. It might be even like, I know people that have been paralyzed and have been told that they will never walk again, yet they're still walking. Can you imagine what sorts of goals you have, how much effort you have to put in to go and do things like that, And then also people that, build up businesses, become financially independent and things like that, and never have to work a day again in their life due to the effort and time they've put in. And all of this exercise sort of sets you up for it. Not only does it set you up for failing and getting used to failure and all this stuff and progress, is it also sort of gives you an out, because when you have everything else is turning to shit in your life, you can still go and pick up that dumbbell. And in fact, when you fail on that, you push yourself to the limit, and there's a good feeling.
Yes.
That comes out of that.
Yep, I absolutely agree with that. Another thing, what I discovered, and this is just from my personal experiences, like two things. They're kind of combined, implemented into like, they're connected, but essentially you become an inspiration for other people. And that sounds strange. I'm always more athletic built, so yes, there are some genes involved in it. But if people see you showing up just once, they will not notice you. But if you show up every single day, and then I talked to an older gentleman, and he was telling me that he is so inspired by me because every time he's showing up, he's not showing up every day, but I show up every day, and every time he's showing up, I'm there. And the reason why he brought this up was because he decided to go on a different day than he usually goes, just because he felt like going. And then he saw me, and then he went up to me,
still there.
And I was still there, and he was surprised. Like, oh, wait a minute, he also works today. And then he went up to me and asked me, "Hey, I just wanted to say, like, you're an inspiration. You go. How often do you go?" And then I tell him, like, I go every day, and since when I started going every day, and it's only been 2 months, so I'm not praising now anything or getting cocky here. But he really just said, it's so good to see that there are still people that have the guts to commit to something that doesn't promise improvement.
Immediate
results, yeah. That was the thing. And I was thinking of, and this kept in my head, like this happened on Wednesday. And I was really thinking about this, and I was really thinking, you're right. Because when I look around the gym, I know the people that are showing up every day. I know the people who are working out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I know those people. I get now the schedule from most of the people that go to the same time as I go. And I gotta say, he is right because summer is now over, and I think half of the people I started seeing in August are not showing up anymore since
Hmm.
mid-September. They're just vanished, gone.
And I have a feeling a lot of that is to do with I don't feel like it. And I think that I touched on it, but I just want to reiterate
Yeah,
you're not going to feel like it every single time.
exactly.
You're not going to feel like going to bed early or waking up early or skipping out on the party and whatnot. And it feeds into becoming a millionaire. Because at the end of the day, most people are not millionaires, which means by definition, you are going to have to do something, if that is your goal, that most people don't do.
Yes. And I think
And
another
stay
reason for
consistent.
this. Oh yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, no, yeah, and sorry, and stay consistent with it. Go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. And the other thing is, most people are results driven, and this is a recipe for disappointment, in my opinion, because with my decision of committing to the gym every day, I removed my aim for results. So I work out now to just maintain my weight and not to have a gain or loss of fat or whatever. My goal is literally just go to the gym. Every day when I'm leaving the gym, well, I can't wait to go tomorrow. That's literally the next goal. Go to the gym tomorrow. And so people who showed up in August and September was more like driven to look good in the bikini, look good in like trunks, just go to lakes and you can show off your body and whatever. And now summertime is over. Well, nobody will see your nice body you worked for. It's fine now to just let it slide until next year. And it sounds so silly, but
It's a
it's
yo-yo dieter or something like a
yeah.
yo-yo exerciser,
And
isn't
we're
it?
getting closer now to Thanksgiving and Halloween, and I see now so many people not showing up to the gym anymore. If I look at Instagram, there's still some of my friends they stopped going to the gym. It's now priority of family time, eating, and unhealthy diet and stuff because now it's holiday season. And I think if you really want to reach a certain goal, it should be in your lifestyle. And if you don't want to do this, okay, then well, I'm sorry, but then this is not what you should pursue in the first place. Then you can just do family time every day. Why not just doing every day? Yeah, so that's just one thing. And the next thing, also need to piggyback on this. You start learning to give compliments. The last 2 weeks, I kid you not, I get compliments from all sorts of people, from attractive women that I would love to just date, I guess,
There we go.
to
There we go. Opportunities come out of it as well. Then.
yeah, and then also like older gentlemen. You have people who are not in shape and just compliment you and say, "Hey, you look really good," and you get compliments on those who also show up every day. I have 2 or 3 people now met in at the gym where I just really regularly talk now, and they, I would say they're becoming friends just because I think it shows
Mm.
we have a common interest and we can share the same interest. I think this is worth mentioning.
I think there's one other thing to note, which a lot of people maybe don't see, is that you can leverage this to networking and you can get business opportunities out of this, especially if you go to a more expensive gym, right? There's going to be people there with more money, more disposable income. And I've done this before and I've made contacts before from doing this. However, I only went to that gym for a year. But if I had been going there for 2, 3, 4 years, still to this day, still going there, without a doubt, I picked up at least five good contacts that I could leverage and use their information or resources in some way. And it comes from speaking to people noticing you there day in day out, realizing that this guy is committed, and therefore, if this guy is committed in this aspect, it's highly likely that if I were to go into business with him or give him some business, he would be committed.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. 1,000%. Just to piggyback on this, what I said earlier of giving compliments, that also gives you an insight that, because then you start talking about the process, you learn to 95% that everyone is having insecurities that they're trying to work on.
Oh God, yeah.
And at first I was thinking, okay, well, this girl has like not the perfect shape or whatever, whatever. And but she's showing up every day and she's giving me a compliment. I give her a compliment too. But then we start talking and then she's saying she's going through whatever and someone passed away. And so that's like reasoning behind why whatever, right? But then there was a guy who was much better in shape than I am, much better. And I would definitely date him. If I would be a woman, I would definitely want to date him because he looks good. He looks absolutely good in shape. Hey, kudos to him. But then I also noticed that he went through a breakup, and so he started like working out and working on himself, and then he actually started like a real estate investment firm, whatever. And then I was just thinking, look at that. Even someone who is really good in shape, he's still going through a breakup and he still is emotionally not in balance, and that's why he's going to the gym. And so just remember that just because someone on Instagram or on social media or even in meetup groups or whatever, networking events, just because someone looks that they have their shit together, I can guarantee you they don't. It's just how they deal with it and move on. And
Truth is, no one really knows what the hell is going on. I mean,
Yeah.
the top scientists don't even know what's going on, do they? The top neuroscientists that have looked at the brain for decades and read books, essentially have had condensed knowledge over decades and centuries even. We still don't know what's going on, so we're all, to a certain extent, winging it. And I think, this is why I'm a firm believer in being nice to everyone, because everyone is going through something that you have no idea about. When you look at someone and you say, okay, look, whatever you want to say about them, X, Y, Z, could be anything, positive or negative. It's almost looking like on the front, like you imagine a train, right? You just see the front of it in 2D, but you've got so many carriages behind it. And perhaps you continue with that analogy and say that for each carriage there is some sort of emotional trauma or something, and insecurity, and 100% agree with you. Everyone has got insecurities. By definition, no one gives parents a handbook, right? 90% of people have got some sort of insecurity that they've had throughout childhood, and that's why they behave the way that they do sometimes, and it may seem irradical or strange or whatever, but you have to understand that people are going through stuff, and you just hope that they come to terms with whatever it is that they are dealing with and become a better person through that.
Yeah.
And yes, gym is amazing for mental health. I don't think we touched on that yet, but it's amazing for mental health to just sort of get yourself out. And like I said, it's something else going on in your life that you can work towards. Getting yourself out of the normal 9 to 5, or wake up, go 9 to 5, come home, work was crap, come home, wife or girl is screaming at you, or there's no one there, so you're eating microwave meals, crap food. It actually encourages you to eat better as well, right? When you exercise, which makes you feel better as well. Yes. And then you watch what you eat. You don't want to eat the McDonald's all the time. You notice that McDonald's slows you down, whereas some grilled chicken and salad doesn't. And you slowly shift towards things that are better for you. And you slowly shift towards, you stop, drinking so many fizzy drinks. Obviously everyone does, if you want to do it once in a while, but it's not like every day. It's not like an everyday sort of thing, or, a regular thing. You drink more water.
Yeah.
You have more protein in your body. You're looking at your macros, i.e. like how much protein, fat and carbohydrates you're consuming.
Yeah.
And
yes.
When you're going through something, I think, especially as a boxer, getting on that punch bag for half an hour, I mean, you can take out anything on there. You can pretend that is whoever you want it to be, Put it that way.
Yes, Absolutely agree. Yes, at the end of the day, we always try to become better, but you only strive to be better once you're aware of that you want to become better.
Yeah.
Again, if you're not looking for self improvement or anything, this is not the right podcast in the first place. But if you are serious of taking yourself, like your health, like your lifestyle, like your relationships to the next level, well then, well obviously this is the podcast to for you. And if they want to have more financial insights, I think then your podcast is um, more relevant, right?
Yeah, so I have a podcast I've been running since before this one called Stuff They Should Have Taught You in School, and guess what? It teaches you all of the stuff they should have taught you in school. We will be covering a lot of financial stuff, I think, as well on this podcast. Sorry, not on this episode, but on this podcast. Definitely, there is a lot of stuff that people need to know.
Yeah.
I think that continuing on the working out and exercise, I think that we need to go back and think about consistency again, and also think about. Just want to reiterate that the improvement, i.e., your body getting thinner or more muscle or whatever, it's not going to happen overnight. Anything that's worthwhile doesn't happen overnight, and anything if it does happen overnight, it's generally not sustainable. For example, you get liposuction, you're thin today. I guarantee you, if you don't change your lifestyle and change what you do day in, day out, you will become fat again. And, it's all about that consistency. And it's all about the consistency even when you don't see the results. I want to touch on a story that I heard on Instagram. Well, I got sent it. I'm not sure if you actually sent this to me. But the story of some sort of Chinese tree, a bamboo tree, some sort of Chinese bamboo
Oh
tree.
yeah, I told you the story.
Yeah, it was you, right?
Yeah.
So, should I tell it, or you want to do it?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You can.
So there's a tree in China, I believe, that you have to water this tree every single day for 5 years. If you miss one day, the tree will die in the soil. After 5 years, it takes only 5 weeks for it to come out of the soil and grow up to 90 feet tall. So 90 feet in 5 weeks, but it took you 5 years of consistent effort to water that every single day without seeing any results. Now, you could get today 360, year 4, day 360, and you could be so close to giving up. But you just stick at it, and you keep doing it, and then, and it's an exponential effect. A lot of these things are exponential effects. And it's same thing with business. A lot of it is exponential effects. A lot of effort in at the beginning, potentially, with low results, and then later on, higher results with seemingly less effort, but it's really not seemingly less effort. It's only because you've grown as a person, and that the things that used to be very hard for you are now routine or much easier for you to do. And I mean, we can see this for one example. One very simple example is walking. So when you're a kid, when you're a baby, walking is very hard. You try a lot and it takes a lot of effort, but now you wouldn't even think twice about it. And it can be exactly the same thing with making money, with going to the gym, with anything really. It's that consistency. Consistency compounds into exponential results.
Yes.
In pretty much every area of your life. If you are consistent, you will see exponential results over time, right? So you're not going to see it straight away. Yeah. All of these things that you have here, I guarantee you, if you haven't done any exercise in the last year and you do exercise tomorrow morning, you're going to be tired. Your body's going to be hurting. Your body will probably hurt for a week, but you keep at it for a month, and after 3 weeks to about a month, 21 days to about 28 days.
Yeah.
After that, it's pretty much a habit.
Yes, and I think sorry for interrupting, but I also think a nice rule of thumb to put it into perspective: the bare minimum every day trumps one extraordinary day. and you rather start small but consistently than
Yeah.
something big and very inconsistent. Yeah, so that's one thing.
So if you've never worked out before, um, should we assume that there's a listener out there somewhere that has never worked out before, and yet after this episode they realise that look, we all know the health benefits, but now we're talking about basically entrepreneurial benefits, basically getting out of your comfort zone, getting
Yes.
into a routine, working towards something that you don't see any results in. So if you've never done this sort of stuff before, just start with 5 minutes a day. Then after week 2 or week 3, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day. You don't even need a gym membership.
Yeah.
I'm working out, I lost 20 kg with just a pull up bar and a couple of resistance bands and, press ups, squats.
Yeah.
And if you, go on.
Okay, I need to interrupt. And not that I don't agree with you, I do agree with you, and gym membership is not necessary, but there is a huge but attached to this. In order to create a habit, you need to be not comfortable. And so if you're at home, the likelihood to be too
Yeah,
comfortable to actually
it's
get
true.
things done
It's true.
is unlikely. So here's a nice tip I definitely recommend you to do because this is how I started. When I went to so when I left Germany, I gained a lot of weight, and I said, you know what, I need to stop and I need to get back on track. And so what I did at that point, when I gained weight, fat, not muscle, I had one thing in my mind. And I said, I want to build that habit of going to the gym. So what I did was, I want to be 5 minutes in the gym, not working out, not doing anything, just I want to be in the gym, 5 minutes. Go to the locker room, sit down 5 minutes. This was my only goal.
Mm.
Once you're at the gym, you're like, I'm already here. Might as well just go to the treadmill. And then
Yeah.
from that on, you say, you know what? You see that jacked guy? I kind of want to see what he's doing. So you go up the stairs to like the other level where you can actually see what he's doing. And then you're like, you know what? Let's just pick up dumbbells. And then from that on, out of 5 minutes of just attending or going to the gym, not working out, you build the habit of actually going to the gym. Because I feel
Yeah.
like the problem is always, how attractive is it to actually
Mm.
get there? And so going to the
Yeah, I
gym,
agree with you.
yeah, so going to the gym is like kind of, you cannot be comfortable at the gym.
It can help. Yeah, it definitely can help. I think that and yeah, really the point was trying to make is essentially start small and you have no excuses. Even if you don't have money to go to the gym, you can still exercise. There is a lot of stuff you can do. Another thing is to note, which is not just for gym, but your brain essentially gets used to certain environments, right? Have you ever heard the saying, don't eat in bed, right? Or don't go on your phone in bed, because your brain associates bed with sleep. If you start going on your phone, playing games, eating in bed, and potentially other activities, then
I mean, those activities are pretty good. I mean, it's cardio.
no, I'm joking.
you know?
I'm joking. I'm joking. That's a good exercise. But anyway, so if you're eating in bed and watching TV in bed and stuff, your brain's getting confused, right? So when you actually come to sleep, your brain is like, is this time for sleep or is this time for watching TV, watching Netflix? Same thing. You're not watching memes at your desk. Your brain knows. You sit down at the desk, that is work time. That is not meme time or any other sort of time or games time. And your brain knows that. Gym, same thing. You get there, your brain is geared, it's ready. It's like, right, this is the environment that we all the time we strain our body. So we're ready to do it. We listen to the music from that. You start walking up into whatever it is, and then you start getting into it, and you're ready for it. And even on those days where you don't feel like getting up, then you get into the gym. As you start, for some reason, in the days that I didn't actually feel like doing it, I felt like I sweated a lot more. And I actually did have better workouts when I felt like I didn't want to do it, but then still push through that wall.
Yes. Another thing, what I would love to just touch base on is understand the fact that getting help. When I talk about gym, if you get help as a spotter, you don't really think about, okay, I have a spotter. Yeah, cool. I can go one more weights bracket up just to see if I can lift it or not. But what this really means and what this really represents in life is getting help. Sometimes getting help is not embarrassing. Don't be embarrassed to ask someone to help you.
It's not exactly, and this is the thing, is that we are essentially taught in school is that you are supposed to get, you are supposedly supposed to get amazing results showing very little or no effort, right? And not asking for help. And, we almost put into a situation where putting your hand up and asking in class may be embarrassing. I was actually a shy kid in school, and it was embarrassing. It was hard for me to do that. Over time, obviously, things have changed. But asking for help is one of the best things you can ever do. Why the hell would you not go to someone who is exactly where you want to be and ask them, how did you get there? Not just for gym, but for any area in life. You want to build a real estate business, go and ask someone that's done that before. What the hell is the point in just asking no one? I mean, why would you do that? You want to, whatever you want to do, you go to the professional, right? And you ask them.
I agree. And another really important thing is what I learned from those 2 months now of working out every day is the balance of body parts represents the parts of your life, the areas. So that also means it's a representation of family, love, finance, health, fun, and career. If you're neglecting one thing over a period of time, it will look silly. It will not be fun. So if you skip leg day every day, every time, because you don't feel like doing leg day, at some point you look jacked up, like on top, but then your legs look like shit. And I think this is a very good visualization of take care of your family. It's not that you have to do this every single day, but just have like consistent, maintain relationships, maintain your finances. You got to have a balance between all those areas, because if you work 24/7, okay, that's cool. But if it's not aligned with your finances, you don't make the money out of it, then well, maybe you should change things.
It's also not sustainable, right? And I think we should sort of start wrapping up here.
Yes. So the outside factors, this is the last thing I want to touch base on before we go into the inspiring influencers and people. The outside factors usually do not matter. You don't need to have the perfect equipment to get started. You don't need to have to wait for the perfect opportunity to start. You don't need to make the sun shine that you decide, okay, today is the day I start running. Those are factors that are nice because, I go outside and I can experience this
But
sunshine.
This is the point of consistency, right?
Yeah.
There's no perfect conditions. Yeah, you don't need protein shake. You don't need to get all the gym equipment. You don't need to get all the expensive shorts. And people procrastinate by being like, let's do loads of research. Should I use creatine or what's the other one? I can't remember even.
Yeah, they're
There's
like a lot of different things. Pre-workout,
all these
proteins.
different chemicals you can put in, and different types of protein and all this stuff, and you can spend years researching it and be like, now we're gonna start. But are you actually gonna start? Or are you just gonna spend another year researching?
And there's another great example of like
everything. Just get started. Like, you can do it with your own body. You're already right there. You even go to the gym and have that environment. But then you don't even need to use the equipment. You could just do press ups on the mat, or even on the floor, or sit ups, or pull ups. You don't, anything.
Yes.
And if you can't do a sit up or a pull up or a press up, there's exercises that you can do before you get to that point.
Yeah.
To build up your strength.
Yeah. So this is really something I learned from this because outside factors don't matter. I used to be like that. I used to say, I want to have really nice gloves to lift weights. I really want to have nice shoes to run. But then I also want to really have nice shoes to just make those deadlifts because they need special shoes, right? And then you think of like a lifting belt, and you think of, oh, I need to have like a shaker, and I need to have protein. No, you don't need it. At first, you need to have the consistency going on. And once you have this established, then you can improve slightly 1% at a time. So this is just what I wanted to touch base on because I think this is super, super important. So now, if you're okay, we can go into like the influencers.
Yeah. Let's go and get this wrapped up.
Okay. So
We've gone a little bit over time, but
I know. It's
been a good conversation.
All right. So first one is Zoe. She's from the UK. She is very open with her insecurities online, which is super, super nice to just see women struggle with there. And I need to say kudos to her that she's showing like she's like growing hair and it's like a condition of something. I don't know what this is, but she's showing this publicly and just reassure her followers and clients that everyone's body is different and you never should be ashamed of your body. So she was insecure about this for a long time, but then she broke free of this insecurity and just said, you know what, I'm just going to be open about this and maybe I can help other people to overcome this as well. So very inspiring in my opinion. The next one is Sawyer Fast. She's from Canada. Yes, those are two women I follow on Instagram, so don't judge me. But what I need to say about her is I followed her early on when she started becoming an influencer, which showed me the power of consistency. Ever since she actually committed to doing content about fitness and mindset and stuff like that, I realized she's very committed on producing content and helping her girls to just get that bum, get that cake, become really good in a good shape, and she's committed to it. So commitment is really something I feel from her very, very nice to just see in terms of this. In terms of how do you say that? Gym ethique? No. How you behave at the gym? I don't know. There's a term for
etiquette.
This. Etiquette, yeah. Gym etiquette.
Gym etiquette.
Noel Dazel, he's from South Africa. He's absolutely jacked, so don't get afraid of following him and think, oh my God, I will never be like him. And I don't want to be like him because this is just not what I want. But in terms of what he really wants and how his messaging is really, the gym is a place where you don't judge people. So if you're afraid of going to the gym because you might think people judge you, he's a very good example, and he's making a lot of memes where he's emphasizing the gym community is actually a really nice place where everyone is lifting each other.
It is, and the thing is if you're overweight and you're fat and you're at the gym, and
nobody's
even if
looking
you're
at
just
you.
doing 5-10 minutes,
Yeah.
How many fat people are sitting at home stuffing their face with donuts? Just the fact that you're at the gym is amazing, and that you're improving yourself. Everyone at the gym is improving themselves. I mean, you have nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yes.
You have something to be proud about.
Yeah, and he is making a great point. So he has one of those reels where he's saying, if you're fat, don't worry about attention because people at the gym don't look at fat people. And
they don't.
Yeah, and I was first thinking about this, and actually, it makes sense because you always look at the hot chick or the hot guy. And I realized it's like, oh, actually, that's true. It's true because you look at the good-looking people. The other people that not in shape, they're not existing, really. And it's not offensive of anything by any means, because I'm pretty sure I was not in shape either. And I didn't care about this either, but I could see the truth behind it. Anyways, last one is Richard. He's from the Netherlands. He's also very jacked, and I think he's also showing the consistency, and he loves doing legs for some reason, but he is really encouraging people to focus on things that just make you drive. I think Drive to Wealth, this is the podcast. So I think that's
Yeah.
a nice thing. And then just last 5 without any explanations. If you want to look at them, those are bodybuilders, like professional
Yeah.
bodybuilders. We put them in the show notes. It's Krim Bumstead, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Ronnie Coleman, and Conor McGregor. If you want to look him up, please do. And now we wrap it up because it's going to be a long ass episode. So thank you so much for clocking in with us. And
Well, you can listen to it throughout your whole workout, right?
yes, and we are excited to have you on the next episode.
Yes. Look forward to seeing you soon. Take care and bye.